So in conclusion, I gotta conclude this. But yeah, so she's like, her whole thing is to escape all this. But then we're together for 3 years, and then behind my back, she's still dabbling in it. Like, it hasn't gotten bad enough for her, you know. She made the decision to escape all that, but she never took the action to escape it, to get out of all this fucking DMT culture of festy hopping and sex magic, and, you know, sex magic rituals and witchcraft and all this shit. She just fucking never took action. And so, of course, you know, she never cut ties with with all that, and then yeah. So I wanted to point that stuff out, but I know it's all very trivial, and it's like, why keep talking about all this? And I understand. But I do feel this storyboard, I'm very compelled, because it's an important story, man. It's an important story, because this is happening. If this is happening to me, I guarantee you these things are happening to other people. And we're not just talking about a relationship gone bad or this and that. I'm talking about fucking murder, arson, death threats, murder, arson, Satanism, Freemasonry, Illuminati, fucking. And that's what I was going to go into. I forgot. So let me walk this way and talk to you about something else. Okay, so let's go over this idea about, because I'm saying she's into Satanism and all this stuff, right? Like, where am I getting all this from, right? So we talked about, like, you know, the freak off fucking festival hopping that they do, where they're always going to, it's the equivalent of freak offs. Like, it's the same fucking thing as this P. Diddy shit, where everybody's naked, fucking blasted out on drugs, and, you know, fucking with the children around, and, you know, dogs, and just like, what the fuck, what the fuck, you know? So, you know, but it goes way deeper, you know. It's like, and then you talk about how they were openly into sex magic rituals and tarot and astral projection and on, numerology. Like, that's what everything is all about, that, you know? And that's why, like, when I talk about, you know, balancing intuitive with reason, they have no balance. Like, everything is intuition. Everything is about blasting off on DMT and astral projecting. Like, that's all intuitive stuff. But where's the reason? There is no reason in all this. Like, what is it grounded in? Like, nothing. The only effective way to even use intuition as a tool is that it's balanced with reason. But you rarely see that with people. So anyways, but so I'm talking about Satanism and stuff. Like, what is this, right? So you look at all this in the pre-event with all this, then the event itself. It's the first thing that happened when the first thing in the event itself were Wiccan brooms or witch brooms hanging from the ceiling when I entered the RV, when I got back from the Denver job. First thing is Wiccan brooms hanging all throughout the RV. So that's you want to talk about symbolism and, you know, shit. Okay. And she put those there for me to see too. That was like, this is something that I'm supposed to interpret. Like, this message is meant for me. That there's Wiccan brooms hanging. Okay. And then her Facebook page was open. So when I went to use the the laptop, her Facebook page was logged in and signed in. So I had access to her Facebook. So I'm looking at her Facebook and saw these fucking witchcraft posts, which I never cared about her Facebook. Like, you do what you want. I'm not gonna invade your privacy, whatever. And then the more I looked into it, you know, I'm talking later on, I'm talking to a guy that I know who just had a 10-minute Facebook phone conversation with her, which I saw because I was looking through her Facebook page. I'm like, why is she talking to this dude? So I called the dude. I'm like, what's going on? And then he's saying whatever the fuck he's saying. And I'm like, well, what's going on with, like, there's this witchcraft post shit. She's like posting weird shit. I mean, you're Facebook friends with her, right? And he's like, well, actually, yeah, we're Facebook friends, but I blocked her from my page. She doesn't know that I blocked her, but I don't see any of her posts. And I'm like, why? What do you mean? And he's like, well, because she was posting like really weird stuff. Like, it was like creeping me out, you know, like black magic fucking posts and all this stuff. And so I'm just learning all this, you know, and I'm like, what the fuck, right? And so then I'm doing more investigation into her Facebook page, and she only had 70 Facebook friends, and the majority of them were all like self-proclaimed witches that are local here in town that are posting the same witchcraft shit that she is, and like new age gurus, you know, Facebook gurus, new age gurus, and there was one page called Todd Mahdi. And it was a Facebook page, and it had a big following. It wasn't like a small page, and it was and like it was like Illuminati, like you know how on a Facebook page you can put a little like couple sentences or whatever. Well, it was a Todd Mahdi page, and it was like, the thing was like in promoting the Illuminati. Like, you can join the Illuminati. Here's the information you can join, and blah blah blah, and it'll change your life. Blah. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then I'm like scrolling through, because the page is public. I'm scrolling through, and it's all overt satanic shit. Not just like not just, you know how you see like the band Slayer, and you know, they might post stuff or their pictures on their albums or a certain thing, but you know that Slayer is not like, it's not like that. Like, Slayer might be satanic, but they never say they are. This Todd Mahdi page is like they're saying they're satanic. You know, that's what the whole thing is about, is Satanism. And it's all this graphic imagery, you know, that, like extremely satanic graphic imagery, every post, like you could scroll, and then I just looked up Todd Mahdi, and I just asked the Brave Engine, what is Todd Mahdi? And it only brought up Mahdi. And Mahdi, guess what Mahdi means? Evil eye. Mahdi means evil eye. So then I looked up Todd. T-O-D, not T-O-D-D, just T-O-D. Todd. What is Todd? Todd is terms of death. It's and what terms of death is it has to do with like life insurance policies and stuff like this. So now this opens a massive can of worms, because you're talking about fraud, okay? Well, terms of death is like you know, has to do with inheritance and stuff like this. Okay, terms of death. So terms of death, evil eye. Todd Mahdi, terms of death, evil eye. Okay, so this opens a whole other can of worms. So I'm 10 minutes in. I'll go 10 minutes into this. Fraud. Internet fraud, these kinds of things. Okay, dude. This is, I just found, this is why it's called Todd Mahdi. Terms of death, evil eye. And so, I know this sounds crazy. Hear me out. So, when all this was going on with the event, okay, before the pre-event, I explained how we had a bunch of notebooks in our place, And I started to notice like that there's these weird numbers written all over it. And it was, and they were in the form of bank numbers. They look like bank numbers. So it'd be 3 sets of 4 numbers. It would say 3, 4, 7, 8, and then space, and then 8892, and then space, and then 4786 or whatever, right? But they were all over the notebook, all over all the notebooks. They were just anytime I used notebook, these numbers were everywhere in it. And I didn't even have the heart to ask her because I already knew it was just, like, what's the point? I don't even fucking care. At that point, I was like, I was really lost. Our relationship was just like, I'm moving out, like, and she's probably just gonna leave. I don't care. She can do what she wants. If she wants to be with me, we'll keep trying. But if she does, fuck her. I don't even care anymore. And so I never even asked her. It was just when I looked at it, I just got annoyed, and I'm like, and all I could think of is it must be Pokemon internet video game codes or some dumb fucking stupid shit like this, right? Then when the event happened, my memory got triggered about those numbers. And the reason it did is because, like, after everything happened, I still had my mini RV, and so I moved back into it, and I was cleaning out any and everything that had anything to do with her. It was all getting burned. I was burning all of it. And I came across the notebook, and so I knew that some of her shit would be in there. So I opened the notebooks because I was ripping it all out to throw it in the fire. And then I saw that page where I saw one of them pages with the fucking numbers, right? And I'm like, and then I'm like, I'm like, oh yeah, what the fuck is that? So I'm flipping through the notebook, and they're all over in the notebook, right? And so I started ripping them out, and I was going to throw them away. And then I stopped, and I was like, wait. And I fucking looked at it, and I'm like, because it looks like bank numbers. And I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, we're talking about fraud. So then I start tripping out. Because then I'm starting to be like, okay, if she's evil, like, she has already shown her ass to me intentionally that she is just a fucking pure evil bitch. And that I'll never be able to prove it. That's why she's showing her ass to me now, is just to show that she fucking fucked me. She won. She's the bold, empowered, strong woman. Just all the same liberal shit. That's why I don't like it when people try to act like politics is irrelevant. No, bullshit. It's irrelevant. No, totally not, bro. You got way more fucking scumfuck, cockroach, satanic, fucking retarded pieces of shit in the liberal thing than you do in the conservative, by far. So and then I remembered I have a friend that does international cybersecurity for the FBI. So I started talking to anybody that would give me their opinion. Like, I would show them the numbers and say, what would you think if you saw this? And then most of the people were like, yeah, that's bank numbers, that's this fraud or something, like something ain't right there, right? Well, she was a cashier at Carl's Jr. And so then I started looking up, like, is there fraud, credit card fraud at fast food restaurants? And sure enough, you look into it, it's a big fucking thing. Tons of fucking fraud with credit card fraud going on with in fast food chains, with these people working at fast food chains, okay? So then the more I'm looking into it and talking to people, then I don't know, people were like talking about how, dude, you really got to be careful, because if she's into this fraud shit, and then they're talking to me about life insurance fraud. Life insurance fraud is nearly impossible. So if she put out a life insurance policy on me with all of her satanic friends and shit, like, it's nearly impossible to find out if someone put a fraudulent life insurance policy out on you, which would further explain why they might be killing people. You don't understand any of this? And then check this out. The dead body in question, his name was Todd Minshaw. The name of the satanic page is called Todd Mahdi. What does Todd Mahdi mean? Todd means terms of death. Mahdi means evil eye. Terms of death, evil eye. Or in other words, insurance policy, evil eye. The Illuminati can easily justify putting out fraudulent fucking life insurance policies out on people, and they do, dude. Like, this is a massive fraud. There's like this thing where they put out fraudulent life insurance policies out on people. is a big thing. And that's what's so fucked up about it is that it's almost impossible to know if someone put a life insurance policy out on you. And it could be a complete stranger. It doesn't have to be anybody that's has ever even met you. So identity theft and all this stuff is like and a lot of these people that are like into anime, Pokemon, furries, and they're all millennials and shit. They're in the know on, because they're basement dwelling, mommy tit sucking fucking pieces of shit that spend their whole life on the computer learning how can they fuck people over using the internet and the computer and hacking and everything. And if you're a self-proclaimed Illuminatiist, man, you think of the shit that people who are part of the Illuminati will go to. Oh, they're not against the Illuminati. They're part of the Illuminati. So then they're all about MK Ultra mind control and any and everything that everybody that stands against Freemasonry and Illuminati, like they're all about it. That's what their whole thing is. Everything is Freemasonry. That's what it's. They're Freemason enthusiasts. They want to be at the P. Diddy party so they can get their art discovered and become the next Alex Gray, etc., 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 etc. Like, this goes on and on with this, bro. So Todd Mahdi is an Illuminati satanic page, and when you look up what Todd Mahdi means, terms of death, evil eye. And how many of you would subscribe to and befriend a Todd Mahdi Facebook page that promotes the Illuminati and is encouraging people to become a part of the Illuminati? How many of you? Okay. None of you would. Like, who would? Except for someone who wants to be a Freemason, who wants to join and become a part of the beast, dude. Like, they're fully aware of the beast and they desire to join it for superficial means, for fame and become rich and famous and, make me like P. Diddy. I just want to be like a, infected mushroom where I'm famous and everybody's worshiping me while they're blasted off on DMT. Just make me somebody hip. Just make me someone mainstream that's awesome, that everybody worships. Todd Mahdi, terms of death, evil eye. Fraud, internet fraud. So she had all of these numbers all over in the notebook. She was she worked at the drive-thru at fucking Carl's Jr., and she's hanging out with a bunch of other self-proclaimed witches, self-proclaimed Illuminati enthusiasts, self-proclaimed Satanists, and then this guy dies, and she's directly tied to the guy who died, his wife, and all of the other people. And the guy's name is Todd Minshaw, and the page she's following is Terms of Death, Evil Eye. Like, see, when you put a fraudulent life insurance policy out on somebody, that gives you a motive to kill them. That gives you a reason to kill them, because then you'll collect the life insurance policy. And like I said, you think that this stuff is easy to trace. It's not. Look it up. I just looked it up on Brave. Other people were telling me that long before, though. They're like, dude, the problem with if she did put a life insurance policy out on you, or her and her friends or whoever, like, it's almost impossible to find that information out. And I think it has to do with, because it's such a personal, private, it's like a privacy thing. It's protected with walls of privacy, bureaucracy, so you can't see what I'm saying. And when you got a ring of people they're the Todd Mahdi and it's like a big following of the Todd Mahdi that are all about putting fraudulent life insurance policies out on people using the internet and the fucking dark web and all this stuff. So I was suggested like to do the FICA, where or one of those programs that kind of watches my credit score, which does help, but it's not, when you're talking about terms of death life insurance policies, it doesn't really do much for that. So you got the Todd Mahdi terms of death evil eye Illuminati page, and all these witch pages and everything else, and all these self-proclaimed witches in this town, and those are her Facebook friends. And you're wondering why I would be connecting Satanism and Luciferianism and Illuminati and all this other stuff to her. And like I said, you know, Wiccan brooms hanging in the RV when the event first took place. That was the very first thing. Is like, Wiccan brooms. What the fuck is this? Then full BDSM bondage straps and a leather whip I find under the bed that I've never seen before, and we lived together for 3 years. Dude, it's like, come on. You want to talk about you want to talk about overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence, like a mountain of circumstantial evidence, a mountain of madness. Everything but the absolute proof itself is there. Everything but. It's like, in a court of law, that's, you know, court cases have been ruled in favor of circumstantial evidence without proof, because there's so much circumstantial evidence that it's like, come on. 1 + 1 = 2. You know? That's how obvious this is. And so, again, this is why I'm doing the storyboard. I've got to make sure I get every little detail, put it all on the board, and so I can condense it all down to a cohesive, like, presentation. Like, here we go. This is what it is. Rock and roll. And then I can hear people, like, critique it and say, well, you're stupid. I mean, how could you even think any of this? This is just a big conspiracy theory. This is all coincidence. You're probably just lying, you know. Or you know, that's all you're gonna hear. But it'll be hilarious to watch all these people shit the bed, because this kind of stuff is real. And all these people that choose ignorance, they don't want to know what's really going on. So they're gonna fight against the truth all day, because they're afraid. You know what they're afraid of? You know what they're afraid of? I'll tell you what it is. They're afraid of the Todd Mahdi. They're afraid of the reality that there is a big group of people that are putting out fraudulent life insurance policies out on people en masse and getting away with it. Like, and that if someone puts a life insurance policy out on you, it will be nearly impossible to find out. You know, that kind of information is scary, and people don't want to know that that's really going on, that the Todd Mahdi is real. And they don't even have to have ever even met you or anything. They can get your information off the dark web, put a fucking life insurance policy out on you, you'll never know, and then they have a motive to kill you. If they get tired of waiting for you to die, they'll try to figure out how to expedite the process, because it's Todd Mahdi, man. It's all Todd Mahdi. It's all about fortune, you know, the wheel of fortune, and you know, manifest your monetized destiny with the Todd Mahdi. It's a spiritual thing. Join, become a member. The benefits are endless, right? Todd Mahdi.